Hello, everyone. I'm Kimberly Guilfoyle, along with Leslie Marshall, Eric Bowling, Andrea Tanteros, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. We have a very busy show for you. We are 5 days to Iowa, and the knives are out for Ron Paul, let me tell you. Plus, could Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi be on the outs in Washington in 2012? Yep, that's what Karl Rove thinks. Then, are the Girl Scouts trying to indoctrinate our young girls with a liberal ideology? We're going to tell you what they're up to. And a pro-abortion blogger's campaign against Tim Tebow. The Five starts right now. Our top story tonight, some bad news for the White House. Rasmussen reports has Mitt Romney with a 6-point lead over President Obama in a 2012 matchup. And to make matters worse, Obama is upside down in the Gallup Daily tracking poll just a couple days after Bob Beckel was downright giddy. Only 41% approve of Obama, 50%, I don't think so. All right, Andrew, what do you think about these numbers?
I think he's in big trouble. I think he saw a very short-term bounce because Democrats were starting to rally around him, and the payroll tax, the optics of that fight helped him because he stayed out of it. But now, look, he's got to deal with an economy that he hasn't fixed. And contrary to what Democrats say, it's still in the gutter. So I also think that the reason for this is Mitt Romney has hid in the tall grass for a long time. He's remained unscathed. In Iowa, everyone else is killing each other, which is why I think he's been able to hold his position. So that benefits him. But something's interesting. Mitt Romney's now committed to do interviews the day after the Iowa caucuses, which I think is very telling. It shows that he's feeling very confident. His campaign is that they're going to place first or second. So even if Paul happens to win, Romney's going to go face the press the next day going into New Hampshire saying, okay, it's either me or him.
Probably his internal polling numbers are looking very good in terms of tracking day to day. Leslie, welcome to the program. Great to have you here again on The Five. So what do you think of this?
Well, here's the thing. I've always said that Romney is the Republican candidate. The problem is people being polled love him, but Republicans don't love him, okay? And he is the guy that is the most difficult for Obama to beat. He's the guy that appeals to the independents. He's the guy who appeals to the centrists. He's the guy who appeals who is going to determine this next election. I'm not worried about these poll numbers, though, because last week Bob and I were doing the happy dance, and I think I might be doing it next week again.
Eric, any happy dance?
Well, no, Obama's doing the happy dance. He had a 3-hour dinner last night after a 4-hour round of golf. So why not do that?
Are you following him around? It's getting
honestly,
awkward. Stalking.
You know, this Gallup poll that Bob was doing the happy dance, by the way, it was 2 days ago that he was doing the happy dance. I think he actually turned down because of this Hawaiian trip. I mean, people are going, oh, my God, really? Really, Obama? I'm very dissatisfied. Let me just point one thing out. There was a poll released today about likely Republican voters' dissatisfaction with the whole field. Came out at 46%. This time, 4 years ago, it was 11%. So there's clearly room for someone who may not even be in the lead or hasn't been in the lead yet to take over and get a big percentage of the
Greg, I see a smirkiness on your face.
Well, here's the deal. We're talking about two polls here. Obama's job approval poll, not that interested in it because the fluctuations are a little bit this way, a little bit this way. It's like watching Gramps try to parallel park. I'm really getting bored by it.
Wait to hear broken glass.
Yes, wait till Gramps hits the curb and the car behind him.
Now, about Mitt, you know what Mitt is? Mitt is a can of beer. When you wake up in the morning and you see that full can of beer, not ready for it. Then around lunchtime, that can of beer is starting to look pretty good. Then by dinner, you want that can of beer. America is looking at Mitt and saying he's the can of beer.
A lot of people are looking for vodka. I got news for you. Vodka, you know gin, they don't want to chug that beer.
And I think they stopped drinking entirely.
If beer is the only thing left on the table, I'm going to funnel that beer if the other choice is Barack Obama. Can you tell we're getting ready for New Year's?
Time out. You said something very importantly. What the other choice, other than Obama, is Ron Paul. Are you still funnelating? Because I'm not sure I'm not.
That's what kind of drink is that?
A funnelator?
No, what is a Ron Paul drink?
I wouldn't funnel Ron Paul if that's what you're asking.
You know what it is? It's Jägermeister. That's what it is.
Crazy, whatever it is.
It's a shot of Jägermeister.
All right, well, let's take a listen. Speaking of Ron Paul, the guy that all of a sudden everyone seems to be paying attention to and taking shots at, let's take a listen to this.
I think Ron Paul's views are totally outside the mainstream of virtually every decent American.
That Ron Paul would make a very dangerous president because of his foreign policy.
One of the people running for president thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't.
A second term with Barack Obama, I'm not too sure will look that different than a Ron Paul administration when it comes to national security.
That was a whole lot of Ron Paul thumbs down, or right? What's going on?
Okay, here's what's going on. Ron Paul has some great ideas regarding the Fed and fiscal policy. That's fantastic. But his other stuff is so blatant, so big, and so blatant. It really sinks his chance to become a president, and certainly, and maybe even a Republican nominee. This whole controversy with Ron Paul hiring Michelle Bachmann's campaign manager is huge. It's getting bigger. Campaign manager says he never told Michelle Bachmann that he was offered money from Ron Paul. If he was offered money from the Ron Paul camp, which they deny, boy, that's going to be some big controversy.
Yeah, that's bad protocol in politics. That is really, really bad. I will also say the controversy around these newsletters, these racist newsletters, these anti-homophobic newsletters, we haven't covered them a lot here on The Five, but I have to say they're despicable. And a lot of people in the GOP are really turned off by it. And I think that's a big problem for him, too. It's not just foreign policy. The things that he says, stay in the closet to gay people, I mean, it really is disgusting and ridiculous, I think.
You know what, to use another food or beverage metaphor.
Somebody's hungry.
Ron Paul, it's true, I'm
And
starving.
thirsty.
There was pizza in the green room. I can't eat it, I'm on Atkins. Then you have cake, because it's your birthday
Andrew's
tomorrow,
birthday
and I
tomorrow.
can't eat the cake either. This is all a war against my stomach. All right, Ron Paul has...
Okay, angry, hungry person.
Here's the thing about Ron Paul. He's like that ribbon candy, you know, on the dish in your grandmother's house. It's just been around forever. Then finally you taste it and you go, ah, that's Ron Paul. Ron Paul has been around forever. Like you said, he's got some good things, but then there's some bad things that leave a bad taste in your mouth.
I think one of the things that leaves a bad taste, at least in many Republicans' mouths, is that he's not really a Republican, guys. He's a civil libertarian. This is clearly a protest vote. This is sort of like, okay, we don't have Gingrich, we don't have Kaine, we don't have Perry. Who do we have left? Oh, anyone but Romney.
Well,
That's
there's
what it comes
also
down to.
Santorum.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Andrew, what about the Santorum
Read your
surprise?
mind, Kimberly.
Reading minds telepathically.
Rick Santorum is surging in a new Rasmussen poll. He's third, and in the beginning of December, he was in 6th place at 5%. Now he's at 16%.
In Iowa.
But in Iowa, right? Which is good for him. I mean, he's been to all counties in Iowa. He moved his family there.
He worked very hard.
Very hard. He's a social conservative that, look, Leslie brought it up. The conservatives have been searching. They've been on dates with all these candidates. They're not thrilled. So someone like Rick Santorum, though it is unlikely, there is a chance for him to place in Iowa and possibly come out, maybe not in New Hampshire, but in the South, he could do very, very well.
New Hampshire.
Go ahead. If this pops him into the third place position, which is he's sort of predicting, he's saying that's going to be a big victory for him.
I think that people are starting to move on from, I guess the way the campaign has been so far is like a giant game of whack-a-mole. Somebody comes up, you go, you pound him, and then somebody comes up, you pound him. It's now, we've got to move away from that, and I don't think, you know, we can say, oh, yeah, it's great, Santorum, he went there, he brought his family there, but the fact is, we're going to start moving towards a game like Candyland, where we're going to be moving around and getting towards the finish line instead of beating up on each other.
Well, Eric, what do you think?
I love
So if
Candyland.
Santorum comes in third place, what does this mean to someone like Michelle Bachmann, who's taken a few hits as of recent?
That is a great question. By the way, Newt Gingrich, I think he released his numbers today. He raised $9 million in a quarter. That's a big number.
Big number.
It'd be very interesting to find out how much the other one. So for Michelle Bachmann, you specifically asked about her. If she raised a lot of money, which I don't think she did, I haven't heard that she was going to, but if she did, she can stay in longer. I asked her point blank, are you going to stay in? She said, I'm going to win. It won't matter. But they'll all tell you that. So Rick Santorum, 16% in Iowa. Listen, I love the conservatives. I'm thrilled they are. But again, Santorum, Bachmann, and Perry splitting the conservative vote.
But conservative issues, the social issues are what matter. I mean, the number one issue is not unemployment in Iowa.
Right.
They actually have a pretty decent employment market, so it's these social issues.
Sure.
Immigration also drives it in Iowa. So, but these polls, we should just be clear, too, the polls are so tough in Iowa to tell because of the complicated nature of the caucus structure.
And it's a holiday week.
These polls are very tough, and there's a chunk of undecideds that we've talked about all week on the show that are up.
They're all going to be coming out, and let's see if there's some good weather. But I want to listen to this. Take a listen to Charles Krauthammer and what he had to say. A little bit of criticism for the GOP.
Charles.
I think with some of the sort of embarrassing candidates like Kaine and others along the way, it has made the president, who is, by who he is, presidential, look better. And I think that explains the reason his numbers are up.
Yes, Greg.
What he's saying is that after this bizarre game of The Bachelor, people are starting to look for Mr. Right, and people are starting to get serious, and that's why Mitt Romney seems to be the guy that everybody is going toward. That's what I think. Krauthammer's always right, too.
He's also Dana's boyfriend.
Yeah.
She hearts him. She's married, but she secretly hearts Charles.
Yes.
He's dreamy and smart, so we love him, and he's a smart guy. He knows what he's talking about.
I don't think he's dreamy.
Oh, okay.
Smart,
What's wrong with you, Eric?
Gosh.
Smart guys aren't dreamy.
I'm not buying into dreamy.
You know what's dreamy? Greg,
Oh,
you know what's
definitely dreamy.
Greg and I on a table with three beautiful, smart women.
You guys are
And
smart, just
brunettes.
like Crown Hammer, and you're dreamy
Exactly.
too.
I'm more
Intelligence
nightmare-y.
is dreamy.
It's a brunette caucus over at the Fox News channel. Oh, yeah? You like it? Oh, yeah, stay with us. Okay, we got more.
I like this.
Coming up, Karl Rove thinks it may be the end of the road for Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi. Bye-bye. Well, his 2012 predictions, those are next. Also, shoot us an email complimenting all the brunettes on this show. Tell us what you think at the 5 at foxnews.com. Stay with us.
Come on and sing it with me, car wash. Sing it with the feeling now. Car wash, yeah.